This week on HBO's Inside the NFL. Buffalo's Bruce Smith greets an old friend in the 49ers backfield. The Chiefs' Andre Rison dries off after his heroics and joins us on NFL Crosstalk. And we spotlight the long road Jacksonville rookie Fred Taylor took to NFL stardom. Ryan Leaf against Peyton Manning, but it was Indianapolis's defense that took the challenge to heart, ruining San Diego's hopes of winning the contest.
The handoff is to Fletcher, trying to get outside right, comes back, he lost the football. Elijah Alexander, I think, has got it. Back to throw his Leaf, sets up, throws one over there, picked off, interception. Elijah Alexander, he's at the 50.
Elijah Alexander made a name for himself at the Chargers' expense, as turnovers set up 14 of Indianapolis's 17 points, and Peyton Manning took advantage of the opportunities.
Fakes, dumps it in the flat, wide open is full. He's got it, touchdown! What a great play!
The Colts never gave up the lead, and Manning went home the winner of the quarterback competition and his first NFL game. He'll go for number 2 this week against the Bills, who were looking for their first win of the season last Sunday against the 49ers. This matchup, though, was no battle of beginners, and the Bills looked like experienced veterans, scoring 23 unanswered points over the first 3 quarters of the game.
There's the quick pass to the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown.
The 49ers just looked, well, bewildered. And they played like rookies, matching a 54-year-old NFL record with 22 penalties. At one point, quarterback Steve Young seemed as confused as his team. San Francisco was down and mentally out of it, until the fourth quarter, when the 49ers seemed to finally shake off whatever fog was clouding their judgment.
Short drop.
Young found his place on the run, and San Francisco's comeback attempt was underway.
Almost stripped the ball. Here's the pass, and it's caught at the 20, run to the 10, to the 5, and in for a touchdown by the fullback, Mark Edwards.
Young's 47-yard touchdown pass to fullback Mark Edwards came after a gutsy escape by number 8. The hookup with Edwards was the first of 3 touchdown passes for the 49ers quarterback, making Young the only player in NFL history to throw for 300 yards and 3 scores in 4 straight games. The Niners looked like champions again and were making a serious bid for victory when Young fired his 3rd end zone shot to J.J. Stokes with just under a minute to play.
Here's the pass, and it's caught by Stokes, and Stokes is down to the goal line and in for the touchdown.
But San Francisco would ultimately fall short of its goal, ensuring Buffalo its first victory of 1998. The New Orleans bandwagon figured to add even more passengers last Sunday if the Saints could find a way to beat the powerful New England Patriots.
Play as hard as you can, cover for everybody else, hustle, pursuing the ball, swarming, do this. Make sure, back up 1 extra step because we're wired up like awesome. Back up, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Off to their best start since 1993, the Saints' defense forced mistakes all afternoon against a New England offense that had not previously committed a single turnover.
Bledsoe, 5-step drop, throwing it to the goal line. It's intercepted. Coleman at the goal line, back to the 5. It couldn't have come at a better time for the Saints.
Direct snap to Drew. Looks, going to be hit, going to be sacked. Fumbles the ball. Picked up by the New Orleans Saints, and they're going to return it for a touchdown. Going all the way for the score is Keith Mitchell.
The Patriots' last game in New Orleans had been their loss to the Packers in Super Bowl 31. But Drew Bledsoe and friends were determined not to repeat that scenario, despite a rambunctious crowd and resilient Saints defense.
Bledsoe out of a shotgun. Blares it right. It's a screen pass completed to Derek Cullors after the 30. Breaks a tackle on his feet. He's at the 40, 45. Cuts it back left to midfield. And a brilliant piece of running on the screen pass.
Now we rocking and roll.
Bledsoe rolls to the right. Looking. Fires. Touchdown. Patriots. Through Bledsoe to Vincent Brisby in his hometown of New Orleans.
Just 3 minutes later, New England scored again.
I left wing zip, Bob right swoop. I left wing zip, Bob right swoop.
Just inside 3 minutes to go in the half. Hand off to Edwards. Shoots it up the middle. Bangs it inside the 5 and is in. Touchdown, Robert Edwards. Oh, man, did he hit that hole in a flash.
In recent years, this would have been the Saints' cue to fold up like a Zydeco accordion. Instead, the offense responded with a flawless 2-minute drill.
Let's go! Werfel just steps back, delivers over the middle. Touchdown to Cam Cleveland!
With only a 3-point halftime lead, New England's pass rush needed to turn up the heat.
Hey, on pass, sit down, Chad. If pass, they can't block you. It's a jailbreak every time. Make sure we wrap him up when we get there. Don't let him out.
The Patriots sacked Danny Werfel 7 times and forced one very costly turnover.
Patriots blitz him off the corner. Zellers tries to pick that up, and he's thrown it right to the defensive lineman. Henry Thomas is going to score.
Everything's all set up. He just can't lob the ball up high enough to get it to the backs coming out of the backfield. And you take a play like that and turn it into 7 points. Just kills you. Just absolutely kills you.
By the fourth quarter, New England's lead was back to 10, but the Jack-in-the-Box Saints kept popping up out of nowhere.
Werfel dumps off a short pass to Lamar Smith. Touchdown!
And it certainly wouldn't be an impeachable offense to say that a routine punt was transformed into the strangest play of the 1998 NFL season.
He is at a wobbly effort. Hastings calls for the fair catch. The Patriots, do they save it? Do they save it? The ball is around the goal line. The official who was closest to it turned his back on the play, and the Saints have picked it up, running up the sideline, and maybe going to midfield and beyond is Hastings. Hastings still running with the football. Hastings trying to stay in bounds, cannot. The ball is at the 25-yard line. That play was never called dead. What a smart play by Andre Hastings as he caught the Patriots snapping.
Hastings' heads-up heist set up the game-tying field goal. Now the defense would have to stand its ground.
One more series, dog. One more series.
This time, however, the Saints had no answer for Bledsoe, who calmly completed 4 consecutive passes to set the stage for kicker Adam Vinatieri.
This would be the game winner in all likelihood. The snap is back. The kick is up, and Vinatieri has hit it. And with 3 seconds remaining in this game, the New England Patriots have taken a 30-27 lead.
The Pats knocked the Saints from the unbeaten ranks and hope to pad their win total this week against Kansas City.
Take it to the house!
The sky over the Chiefs' house last Sunday looked menacing for sure, but it certainly wasn't as threatening as the actual downpour that came close to drowning out the first game in NFL history. Torrential rains drenched the field, filling puddles as deep as 5 inches for the Seahawks and Chiefs to wade their way through. Sometimes the play was even uglier than the elements, resulting in a total of 9 turnovers. Often looking more like slip and slide than football, this game went on for a quarter and a half until, with the score tied 3-3, conditions looked to get even worse.
And now, the field judge sprinting in, waving his arms, and the referee's on the phone as the Lightning now more intense than it's ever been.
He's saying, come on off the field.
Both teams are headed to their respective locker rooms.
Fit for neither man nor most beast, the weather delayed the game for 54 minutes, but Mother Nature could not put off the Chiefs any longer.
Play action. Motion fake in and rolling to the near side. Angling to the left front pylon. Touchdown! Kansas City! Touchdown!
Kansas City capped off its 7th straight win against Seattle when Rich Gannon hit Andre Rison from 80 yards out. And number 89 notched the longest touchdown catch of his 10-year career. This week, the Chiefs hope to take New England by storm, just not quite so literally.
A tip of the hat to our guy.
His concern was over starting quarterback John Elway's sore back.
Hey, bud. Don't aggravate it anymore.
Try not to. I can't run. I don't. It doesn't bother me going too much, but I just can't even run.
I mean,
my breath away when I
doesn't.
I get that
I just don't like to screw it up right now. You know, even throwing. Hey, Brian. Brian, let me give you some words of encouragement, okay? If Bubby goes down and you're in there, you cannot go down because we don't have any more quarterbacks. Hey, there's nothing like putting a little pressure on you to start off your NFL career.
No head first diving?
What's that?
That mean no head first diving?
No, no head first diving. Hey, no. I take that back. You can dive head first, you just can't get hurt.
The call once again went to backup Bubby Brister.
Bubby.
Bubby Brister, who struggled with the Eagles, who struggled when he went to the Jets, had some good games in Pittsburgh, but more of a down career than an up career, but put him behind the Ferrari, and he looks like Mario Andretti.
On the very first play from scrimmage, Bubby had his hot rod offense off to the races. The Broncos then quickly revved up the engine that truly drives their offensive machine.
Okay, let's go with the 18 toss out of a near left zoom with a C counter motion, okay?
C counter motion, 18 toss.
Running back Terrell Davis raced almost effortlessly through the overmatched Eagles for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half alone. And he could have had much more, but he rested the entire second half.
Give me 18 handoff strong out of near left zoom, C left. No, I'm sorry. A counter motion. C counter motion.
Davis's first score came on a play call that wasn't even in the Broncos' game plan.
What?
You said 18 and you told me that formation,
no, that.
You said 18.
Oh, okay.
So I went.
You went with what?
18 for you. Near right, A counter motion, 18 handoff.
18 handoff.
Handoff, Davis running right side, bounces outside, he's got a hole, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
We don't even have any game plan.
I know, that's why.
Terrell Davis bounced it outside, and there was nobody there. I don't think anybody laid a hand on TD.
We don't even have it in the game plan. What I was trying to get to was the counter motion with the 18 handoff weak. When they're left zoom, my fault.
No matter what the calls, the Broncos had no problem building a 28-0 first quarter lead.
Little caught, right, Smith, 5, touchdown! Broncos 2 possessions have netted 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter.
Right. I throw by that guy. He respected me.
Oh, is he? Oh, good, okay. Oh, good. We got what we want.
Play fake, Brister in the pocket, lobs one in the end zone, wide open, Shannon Sharp, touchdown!
That was a great job. Great job. Hey, that was a great job in the 12-man. Great job, quarterback.
A mile-high wave crashed down on the Eagles throughout the day as the Broncos rolled in every phase of the game.
Come on, there you go!
Denver's defense harassed Eagles quarterback Bobby Hoying for 6 sacks.
Like it's a well-oiled machine running through a jalopy.
The broken-down Eagles were demolished and appeared ready for the scrapyard.
Little pass going to be intercepted.
Yeah, go!
That's Darius Johnson on his feet to 45. Midfield Johnson, 45-40.
Yeah, go!
The 5-0 Broncos cruised to one of their easiest victories in years as their championship machine is operating at peak precision.
Tiger, far west zoom, we call 2-3 jet X bingo cross, okay? Tiger, come back. I want you to run a takeoff, okay? Run the arrow takeoff.
First and 10, Denver on the move. Blitz is on. Brister in the pocket. Good time. Lofts one down the left side. Wide open. Rod Smith at the 5. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
Man, that was a hell of a win. We talked about it from day one. You get a team that comes into our backyard, her back's against the wall. You guys came out there with the intensity that you got to have. I take my hat off to you. I think they had 50 yards total offense in the first half. We had about 320, 330, 35 points. But we got round 6 coming up. And what's that? Yeah. Man, enjoy the win tonight. Enjoy the win. Let's get ready to come back and kick their ass.
I like people who talk a lot. They say I talk a lot. I don't know where they get that from, but I guess I got a hell of a reputation, don't I?
Yes, you do, Keyshawn.
When I score, I hope they talking.
Please elaborate.
They can't cover me.
You're far too modest. Please tell us more about you.
They can't cover me. That's why they want to talk to me and try to distract me, because they know they can't cover me. And they coach know they can't cover me. He dying to have a receiver on the team like me, because he had one in Dallas that helped him win championships.
Truth be told, Jimmy Johnson would probably love it if a playmaking wide receiver followed him around the way Bill Parcells has been followed by a certain pass-catching running back.
I like New England. Yeah. You know, Parcells, when he left, I wouldn't have left. So he left, I had to leave. I said, well, at least he's sticking around.
The cameras are rolling today, all right? You got to decide which side of that film you're going to be on. Whether you want to be champs or whether you're going to be chumps. Now you decide, all right? Round 1, 2, 3, 5.
Champs or chumps, playmakers or play fakers? The answer came early for the Jets.
Testaverde throwing the little flare to Keyshawn. He's got him. Touchdown, New York Jets, and a perfectly thrown ball.
That was just too easy.
Keyshawn Johnson proved himself not only capable of making plays, but of making friends as well. But he would find few friends the rest of the way. Neither would Brian Cox, who zeroed in on number 24, Jerry Wilson. It was a vintage AFC East battle in which Miami was totally overpowered and thoroughly out-hit. On the sidelines, it showed.
Oh, damn. Dwight.
Come on, Zach.
But fingers weren't the only things being dislocated. The much ballyhooed Dolphin running game was popped out of joint by a Jet defense that gave up just 34 yards on the ground. Miami was equally frustrated by the Jets' pass rush. Not a bad performance for a defense that came into the game ranked dead last in the NFL. One Jet now ranked dead first is Keith Byers, who broke Marcus Allen's career record for receptions by a running back and kept alive a crucial scoring drive.
That's what Byers is a very good blocker. His strong suit is pass. Catching ball. You can't let him chip off on you when he comes back over. That's what he's doing.
Byers' heroics against his former team set up Curtis Martin to put the game out of reach.
Curtis Martin to the goal line. Touchdown!
Could have floated a boat through that hole.
With Martin leaving defenders in his wake, the Jets cruise back to 500, and this week hope to continue full speed ahead in St. Louis. Coming up on HBO's Inside the NFL, the Packers will never forget what Randy Moss did last Monday, and we give you the story behind one of the greatest and most memorable sports photographs ever taken.
Don't miss that story on the Old Warrior, Y.A. Tittle. Right now, let's talk about a young warrior. Brian Burwell now takes us to the Florida Everglades.
Out in Washington, where the sky is beginning to fall on Norv Turner and the winless Redskins. Quarterback Trent Green set out to change the forecast versus the Cowboys by tossing a perfect rainbow to Leslie Shepard. Riding an early 7-0 lead, Darrell Green was determined to keep the Cowboys from their own pot of gold. But the Redskins, last in the league with a -11 turnover ratio, soon shot themselves in the foot.
Right, throwing underneath, and it's intercepted at the 43-yard line. Here comes Sanders down the left sideline, all the way down to the 20-yard line, and the Cowboys take advantage of a turnover.
Emmitt Smith ran for 120 yards and showed he can still finish a run. And Smith celebrated his 50th career 100-yard game with a touchdown.
Smith, huge gaping hole up the middle, standing up untouched. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith. And the Cowboys have the lead for the first time today.
Smith's groundwork laid the foundation for the play-action pass.
Garrett, half roll right, stands, deep ball to the middle. Mills is there, in stride at the 7, in for an easy touchdown.
The going wasn't as easy for quarterback Trent Green. The Cowboys put the squeeze on him in the pocket and put the pinch on his receivers in the middle of the field. Chris Warren joined Smith with over 100 yards, adding 2 scores of his own.
And turning and in for the touchdown. Is that fitting? Chris Warren with fresh legs comes in and wears him down and wears him down and wears him down and finally broke their spirit and their heart.
Everybody had a hand in a big divisional win for the Cowboys. Dallas returns home this week to face the winless Panthers, who had their hopes dashed on the opening kickoff in Atlanta.
This will be tipped wide at the 7-yard line. Up the middle to the 20, across the 25 to the 30. Look out! It's a race down the far sideline. He's gone. Wow! Touchdown on the opening kickoff. 93 yards.
The Falcons soared to a 14-0 lead on Tony Martin's 30-yard touchdown catch. The fans, blissfully unaware of the fireworks to come, stood witness to an NFL record 3 touchdowns in a 44-second span.
Put it up. Has time, going across the middle. O.J. Santiago, touchdown Falcons! Wow! Swings it out to, ball is loose. Let's see if it is going. Yes, the play is still in action. Muhammad loses it. William White picks it up. That's a Falcons touchdown. Now, how about that?
Boy, this is going to be a rout.
The rout was in full swing when Dom Capers' defense fell victim to a Dan Reeves caper, a 22-yard cross-field pass to the quarterback, Chris Chandler. All in all, the Falcons scored 51 points, their highest total since 1973.
Chandler draw play. Jamal Anderson. Anderson with some running room. 10, 5, touchdown. Jamal Anderson on the draw.
The Falcons drew even with the Saints and Niners at 3-1 in the NFC West. This week they traveled to New York to face the Giants, who are having a little less success with their offense.
Back, has pressure over the middle. Pass intercepted. Running left for the Buccaneers and heading to the end zone is Mincy. Touchdown.
Charles Mincy's 22-yard return marked the first time that the Bucs have scored a touchdown in the first half this season. The Bucs continued their stingy ways on defense, holding the Giants to 135 net yards and forcing Danny Canal into a career-high 3 interceptions.
Intercepted. Intercepted by Upshaw, running up the right sideline and knocked out of bounds.
But Canal wasn't the only Giant throwing ducks.
Well, that looks like Gary Premier. Well, in a way, but at least it went forward.
Hunting season was also out on quarterback Trent Dilfer, who managed only 85 passing yards and suffered 4 sacks. The Bucs offense finally got going in the fourth quarter when Mike Allstott's 28-yard run set up the game's first and last offensive touchdown.
Bucs trying to punch in a touchdown. Handoff, Allstott handles. He's got a touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Let the music move you, Tampa fans. The Bucs are a perfect 2-0 at Raymond James Stadium. For the Cardinals. It was no laughing matter on Sunday, though, as Jake Plummer threw the first punches with 2 early touchdown passes.
The end zone is caught for the touchdown by McWilliams. He scores.
Rob Moore got behind Charles Woodson to give the Cardinals a 14-6 lead. But last year's Heisman Trophy winner would get revenge by stepping in front of a Plummer pass to score his first NFL touchdown and give the Raiders their first lead. In for an injured George, Donald Hollis scored what proved to be the game-winning touchdown.
Here goes Hollis running to his right. He pumps, he stops, he's hit, he got it across the goal line, he's down, he scores.
With the win, the 3-2 Raiders are very much alive in the AFC West. In Chicago, however, things have been looking a bit more grim as Bears fans were just dying for their team's first win. Hoping to reap the benefits of playing Chicago last Sunday were the Detroit Lions, and Johnny Morton wasted no time dashing 98 yards for a first-quarter touchdown.
Left side 40, to midfield, left sideline 40, to the 30, Johnny Morton to the 20, 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he will score! Oh, my! And what a way for Charlie Batch to get his first NFL touchdown pass, huh? Not bad.
With rookie Charlie Batch throwing 2 touchdown passes, Chicago seemed headed towards a 5th straight loss. Despite Marcus Robinson's touchdown, for the first time this season, the Bears didn't lead at the half. Of course, this also meant they couldn't blow it in the second half. And they pulled out all the stops to erase a 27-10 fourth-quarter deficit. Eric Kramer drove the Bears to 3 touchdowns in the final quarter, including his own scoring sneak.
Quarterback sneak, Kramer reaches for the goal line, touchdown! Touchdown, Chicago Bears!
Dave Wanstead's team may not be doomed after all. Now they can only hope that their bear hugs will help them squeeze the life out of the Cardinals this week. The rain on the plains falls mainly on the insane. Last Monday night, John Randall and the Vikings had to be crazy to think they could win at Lambeau Field, where the Packers had won 29 straight games. But Minnesota jumped out to an early 10-3 lead.
Drives it deep to Reed. Oh, to the 20, and the 15, Reed 10, and the 5. Touchdown, Vikings. Jake Reed took it away from Greg Newsome, and the Vikings go up 9-3.
On the ensuing kickoff, Roel Preston tied the game for Green Bay.
Comes back to the 5, to the 10, looking for a hold of the 15, to the 20, to the 30, to the outside 35, 40, 45 infield. He can go. He's down the sideline. There are no flags, and he will go 101 yards for the touchdown.
But Randall Cunningham threw for 4 touchdowns and 442 yards, the most ever surrendered by a Packer team.
The 15, cuts back at the 10 and the 5. Touchdown, Vikings!
If the weather couldn't dampen the spirits of Green Bay fans, the magnificent play of Vikings receiver Randy Moss did. Once considered a problem child, the only difficulties created by Moss now are for the secondaries he gives a spanking to on a weekly basis.
Looking, Cox throws downfield, and he has got Moss at the 15. He breaks away at the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Vikings!
The defensive back cannot find the football. Randy Moss can. Out jumps the defensive back, then just easily gets away from him.
Moss caught 5 passes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Downfield, wants Moss. It is caught. Touchdown! What a magical receiver that guy is.
And it's been a magical start for Coach Dennis Green's Vikings, who sit alone atop the NFC Central and are the NFC's only remaining undefeated team.
Who let it that quick? Let's go, baby, right here. It ain't in your heart today. It'll
will never be who can hit the hardest in the group, who's going to make every freaking play count, who's going to make it happen, who's going to take over the leadership.
Trust each other, believe in each other, do your assignments, and win the football game.
Nobody go home, we drink some beer, we party. Let's go, kick ass on 3. 1, 2, 3, kick ass!
McNair, play action fake from his end zone, pressure safety. Rob Burnett makes the tackle in the end zone, and the Ravens lead it 2-0.
We're rushing our ends big time, guys. We're getting too many hits on him. We're too many guys in his face. We got to protect him. All right, we're going to suck it up and block him.
We playing for the end zone, baby. Come on, come on. Good play, oh, good play.
All of Tennessee's big plays came on the ground as Eddie George rushed for 121 yards.
Got to get points, baby. Got to get points.
Steve McNair finally showed why he was considered a double threat coming out of college, scoring the Oilers' only touchdown on a busted play.
I see you, baby.
The Ravens moved the ball at times, but couldn't convert a third down in the first 59 minutes of the game.
In their tank. They tank's empty. They're big and lazy, but they want to lay on the ground. But we still taking it to them fresh all day.
Rod Woodson's tank was still full as he kept Tennessee from putting the game out of reach. On Baltimore's last drive, with time running out, the Ravens didn't have a prayer because Priest Holmes didn't seem to have a clue, failing to get out of bounds on 3 catches.
He wants you to come to him. Give him what he wants.
Ineffective clock management left Baltimore with one desperate chance with 3 seconds remaining.
They're going to have to hurry. 3 seconds to go. Downfield, he's hit as he throws, and it's intercepted.
You guys got to win ball games. You got to win them as a team. Sometimes you don't click in all phases, but today the defense stepped up and played one hell of a game.
It's been 3 years since Neil O'Donnell and Cordell Stewart were teammates in Pittsburgh. They're still friendly after all these years, but the Bengals' defense did not share the same affection toward the player formerly known as Slash. Clearly, Stewart does his best work out in the open, where he looked like his old multidimensional self and burned the Bengals with a 56-yard run. Stewart and the Steelers gained the upper hand early on. With less than 8 minutes played in the first quarter, Pittsburgh jumped to a 10-point lead.
They give him to the bus, and he's got running room to the right. He turns the corner. He's at the 5. He walks into the end zone.
The downside, Jerome Bettis left the game with a twisted knee. When his replacement Richard Hundley got his hands on the ball for the first time, he did not make a strong first impression. The fumble ultimately led to the Bengals' first touchdown of the day.
Throws long downfield. Darnold's got it. If he catches it, he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati! How do you do?
Hundley atoned for his fumble with 85 yards rushing and the touchdown that earned the Steelers an 8-point third-quarter lead.
Touchdown, right up the gut, right behind Charles Johnson.
The resilient Bengals bounced back when O'Donnell again looked for Darnay Scott.
Scotty's open and he
With a minute and a half left in the game, the Steelers appeared safe with a 2-point lead, especially with the Bengals facing a 4th and 12 with no timeouts outs left.
Throws long downfield. Pickens has the inside lane. Makes the catch at the 45. Step back in at the 40. And out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
The clock winds to 30 seconds. The Bengals can't stop it except to get out of bounds or spike the football.
Donald steps up to the center and drops back to pass. Looking down the end zone for Carl Pickens. Up in the air, makes the catch. Touchdown, Cincinnati!
Boy, they worked that to perfection, didn't they?
93-yard drive. 2 big plays. Pickens on receiving end of both 50 and a 27 for the touch. After O'Donnell faked the spike.
It was only the Bengals' third win over Pittsburgh in their last 15 games, and it earned Neil O'Donnell a load of respect he hadn't had a year ago in New York. This time in 1997, O'Donnell was in Vinny Testaverde's shoes, backing up the Jets' quarterback of the future.
Glenn Foley back for the first time in 3 weeks. Play action, Foley, and he's in trouble. He fumbles the football.
If the New York Jets are looking to set any records this season, it may be in the turnover department.
At the 10-yard line and tackled from behind is Mike D. Jones.
Jones' fumble recovery was the first of 5, and the Rams' defense was looking for more.
Comes in relief of Glenn Foley, who was very ineffective. A little flea flicker. Pass back to Testaverde. He's going to be sacked. Roman Pfeiffer was there first. The ball picked up by DeMarco Farr. He's still running to the ball. He's looking for some blocking.
The nimble feet of 290-pound defensive tackle DeMarco Farr put the Rams in position to take an insurmountable 27-point lead.
That's the 5th turnover of the game.
The Jets have now committed 16 turnovers in their first 5 games, and the most recent one set up the Rams' final score. Amp Lee stepped up with a pair of touchdowns that earned the Rams their first home win in 9 games. One thing for certain, there won't be many smiles in New York this week as the Jets prepare for a Monday night matchup with the surging New England Patriots. 2 of the AFC's elite squared off in New England last Sunday, and with Elvis Gerback returning to the huddle, the Chiefs were prepared to remove their blinders and run wild over the Patriots.
You know it. You know it. You know it. Play it in 5 days. Play it together. 60 minutes. Everybody play hard and go on to the next play. We got to run around and kick their ass and start playing. Defense on 3. 1, 2, 3.
But right out of the gate, New England proved to be the thoroughbred, galloping over Kansas City's #1 ranked defense.
The rookie off tackle left gets a block. Touchdown New England. And for Robert Edwards, it is his 5th touchdown in his first 5 games. We'll get him on the net. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal.
You gotta get this straight. We're running belly. They're running that guy across, and he's becoming a plugger. Mike has that A gap. So what I'm saying is this: you don't know.
But they would soon figure it out as the Patriot offense dominated the afternoon, controlling the ball for nearly 42 minutes and amassing a 31-9 first down advantage. Running back Robert Edwards gained 104 tough yards on the ground, on his way to becoming the first rookie since the merger to score a touchdown in each of his first 5 games.
Play action fake by Bledsoe, rolls to the right, looks, now he's going to look again, fires, touchdown Robert Edwards! Great play by Bledsoe, great play by Edwards!
He's a little nervous, but he's throwing the ball on the money, and he's gaining some confidence. We got to knock him down.
Drew Bledsoe had no reason to get spooked as he moved seemingly untouched throughout the game, picking apart the Kansas City secondary for a huge halftime lead.
Bledsoe, play action, floats it left, open, touchdown, Ben Coates! And the Patriots are all over these guys like a bad suit.
You see what the score is now? 24-0. I'm talking about 0-0. That's right. Hey, listen. But listen what I'm talking about. This is the mark of a good team. If we come back out, put 24 more points on them, we got to kill them. Hey, look. We got to let everybody around the league know. They won't respect us. They won't respect us if we don't come back out and put another 24. We got to beat them.
They're going to throw the ball. They got to throw the ball. So be alert for it. Anticipate the pass and just got to stay low. That's all.
The Patriots teed off on Gerbach's now one-dimensional offense, giving up a mere 134 yards in a dominating effort.
Way to go, D! That's the way to shut him down!
Keep knocking their ass off the file. Keep knocking their ass off the file. Hey, you see the spin move?
Those times should be great.
You see the spin move on the big man?
One more touchdown.
Ben Coates' second touchdown made the score a whopping 34-0.
Firing a corner pattern for the end zone, and a diving catch made. Touchdown, New England.
3 touchdown passes for Drew Bledsoe, and the Patriots are rolling this afternoon.
Wow, the #1 defense in the league, huh? Against the pass and run.
The trampled Chiefs left Foxborough sorely in need of their upcoming bye, while the stampeding Patriots will try to leave Bill Parcells and his Jets in their dust on Monday night. A month into the season, the Arizona Cardinals usually find themselves on the road to nowhere. But this year, head coach Vince Tobin has his team walking the straight and narrow.
Gotta go down and whip somebody. Gotta go down and make a play. Got somebody in this group's gonna go down and stick a helmet on that ball and turn it loose. Let's go. We need a fumble. We need a fumble right here. 1, 2, 3.
The Cardinals have played the Bears since 1920, and this time Arizona appeared to have Chicago's number.
And knocked down, and the ball is loose, and the Cardinals say they've got it inside the 15.
Atta baby.
Arizona performed in sync for most of the game. The Cardinals are a team on a tightrope. And a slip in the secondary led to Chicago's only score.
Down the middle, Bobby Ingram over the shoulder catch. 35-30, cutting left. Down the left sidelines, Bobby Ingram to the 5, dives, pylon, touchdown!
What's going on with that guy over there? Is he that much better than we are? What's going on? But he's kicked your ass every time. You don't even slow him down. You got 2 guys, they got 1, and we're not even slowing him down a bit. Comes a time when you got to just try to bloody somebody's nose.
The Cardinal defense struck repeated blows, forcing 8 turnovers, including 3 interceptions by linebacker Ronald McKinnon.
Way to go, defense. Way to go, Simeon.
All 20 of Arizona's points came off turnovers.
Lumber turns. Lumber hands to Bates. He scores.
All right, one. First off, congratulations, man. Hard-fought victory. Celebrate this win, man. I know there's some guys that would like to play better. Some think they played great and all that. But the important thing is we all won. We all won. We all have to get better. We have to coach better. We have to do this better. We have to do that better. That's the nature of the beast. But if you win, you've got a chance to move on and do all of those things, and that's what we're all about. Not today, yesterday, but tomorrow and the next day. That's what we're about.
Unlike the Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers are still looking for a game to build on, especially since they haven't won one yet. Last Sunday, there was no yesterday or tomorrow, only the present for quarterback Steve Berline, brought in to jumpstart the slumping Panthers.
Dallas has 5 up front on defense now. Berline back to pass. Pumps, fires down the middle for Rocket. Got it! Touchdown, Panthers! Berline to Ismail, a bullet from the 16-yard line. Berline in the pocket, looks left, throws left, wide open. Rocket makes the catch, makes the tackle at the 5, and scores a touchdown.
After building a 14-3 second quarter lead, the Panthers returned to their customary level, buried under an avalanche of defenders. Troy Aikman watched his replacement, Jason Garrett, turn in yet another efficient, if not spectacular, performance.
quick fade, left side of the end zone, caught, falling down, unbelievable catch, touchdown.
The Carolina defense that allowed 88 points in their previous 2 games came apart, and the Cowboys responded with 21 unanswered points.
Bjornsson in motion, handoff, Smith, left guard, bang.
Emmitt Smith's 4th touchdown of the year finished off the Cowboys' scoring. And while Dallas sits alone atop the NFC East, the Panthers were left to continue their pursuit of a game to build on. Last Sunday, the New York Giants continued their descent from the playoff contender penthouse to the cold water flat reserved for also-rans. Meanwhile, the Falcons seem to be headed in the opposite direction.
Chandler makes the handoff. Good play action. Throws deep over the middle. Looking for a receiver. Touchdown, Tony Martin. And he just toasted Tito Wooten.
In 1997, Danny Canal was the toast of the town, but against Atlanta, he was roasted by a relentless rush that registered 6 sacks, and early in the second quarter, Atlanta capitalized on Canal's fidgety nature.
Rolling right. Here comes the pressure. And the ball is loose. Touchdown, Falcons. Antonio Edwards. Man, oh man. I think he got so rattled, he simply lost it. Unbelievable play by Edwards. I think he stole the ball from him. That is an amazing play and a great touchdown.
Canal redeemed himself at the end of the first half.
Here comes the pressure on Canal. Canal gets away from it, lobs the ball downfield. Touchdown! David Patton all by...
But Canal was no match for Chris Chandler, who threw for 2 scores and ran for another.
Lost one right, wide open. Mathis, he's got it at the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown!
Offense doing nothing, the defense now wilting.
New Yorkers waved bye-bye to Dan Reeves when he was fired by the Giants 2 seasons ago. But Reeves isn't looking back. He next faces New Orleans, and a lot of people are checking to make sure the Saints are for real. Last weekend, the Saints hoped to pass inspection as a top echelon team when they took on San Francisco in an unexpected battle for the NFC West lead. But the Saints couldn't stop Steve Young, who tied Joe Montana's NFL record with his 5th straight game of 300-plus passing yards.
Young rolls out to the left and throws into the end zone. It is caught. It's a touchdown to Greg Clark.
The Niners also have a defensive Young, Bryant Young, and he too was hard to handle. San Francisco produced 8 sacks, half of them by Chris Dolman, number 56. The defense pitched a shutout over New Orleans for the 2nd year in a row, and Young tossed 3 touchdown passes, including a 33-yarder to Garrison Hurst. The 49ers have won 12 of their last 14 games in New Orleans, but with veterans like Steve Young and Chris Dolman performing at peak efficiency, they are more than capable of winning anywhere, anytime, including Miami in late January. Last Monday night, the Dolphins tried to sneak up on the undefeated Jaguars, but Jacksonville retaliated with a running back who has taken the NFL by surprise.
Hands off, Taylor running left, cuts it back. He's got a hold. There he is, 30. Taylor outside, 40. There he goes to the 45, 50. It's a foot race, 40. Taylor 30. Taylor to the 20. He's to the 10. He's pulled down, but he gets into the end zone. Touchdown in the first
While
play
Fred
of the game.
Taylor picked up 2 early touchdowns, Miami was left to pick themselves up off the turf. But as Jacksonville cooled off, Dan Marino and Troy Drayton were heating up.
Marino back to pass. He pumps once, now lobs into the end zone. There's Drayton. He's got it. Touchdown, Miami.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Down by a touchdown in the 4th quarter, the Jaguars took the lead as Mark Brunell hit Keenan McCardell for 2 touchdown passes.
Cardell's got the ball. 10, 5, touchdown, Jacksonville. The Jaguars have the lead.
The Jaguars remain unbeaten at 5-0 and have won 18 of their last 20 games at home. Football factory is a term that hardly applies to the RCA Dome, but last Sunday the Colts were hoping to manufacture a win over Buffalo.
Take it to their ass, and we don't give a damn what they do. We're going to dictate what happens in this game, all right? Let's go. There's a lot of pride. Pride on 1, on 3. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, pride. Let's go. Let's go. What you going to do?
Both teams had mayhem on their minds and music in their hearts.
I came to bring the pain.
In the early going, Buffalo experienced the star-spangled bummer. Multi-talented Marshall Faulk, who accumulated over 170 combined yards in the game, led Indianapolis to a 9-0 lead. But the Bills would eventually strike back after Doug Flutie stepped in for dinged-up starter Rob Johnson.
I thought they were man short, strong side. I thought someone was coming uncovered.
When he went in motion, nobody ran with him.
Yeah.
So the rule was no blitz on the weak side.
No regular race now?
Yeah, we're going to go back to ace.
We got to score a touchdown. No? The hell with kicking it.
Flutie got the Bills on the board as the first half came to a close.
Looking, now he runs. Now he throws. Touchdown.
Flutie completed 23 of 28 passes and threw for a pair of touchdowns in the contest.
He backs up. He throws. And it is caught for the touchdown on a crossing pattern.
Good, baby.
Peyton Manning's penchant for getting picked hampered the Colts' cause as the rookie signal caller was intercepted twice. Indy's inability to stop the run was another factor in Buffalo's win. The Bills' ground attack was paced by 130 yards and 2 scores from Antoine Smith, number 23.
It's Antoine in for the touchdown. What a great hole on the right side. A gaping hole.
Oh, yeah, we got him now.
We got him now.
Oh, yeah.
Manning threw for 2 late touchdowns to keep things respectable, but the Colts fell to 1-5. And in the neighborhood where a stadium is just a stone's throw from a row of smokestacks, the home team ran out of steam once again.
What a run by Flutie to the 5-yard line.
Doug Flutie turns 36 years old next week and is in the autumn of his football life. After an 8-year exile from the NFL, he's learned his fortunes, like the leaves, have a way of quickly changing.
Everyone had those first predetermined notions of what they expected of me, and now all of a sudden 1 game later they think you're a world beater, and it's not that way.
He throws, and it is caught for the touchdown.
Last Sunday, the NFL's Player of the Week scrambled to career highs in completions and yardage in Buffalo's comeback win over the Colts. Twice already this season, the 5'10", 175-pound quarterback has come up big off the bench, but he knows.
As soon as I have a bad day, it's because I'm too short and we should get rid of him. Why worry about how tall I am? Why measure me or weigh me? Just look at what I do on the field. If I move the football, help a team win, contribute, or not.
At Boston College, he contributed all night, leading the Eagles to 3 straight bowl games, winning the Heisman Trophy in 1984. But 14 years later, even as his number was retired last week, this one unbelievable play overshadows it all.
Caught by Boston College! It's a touchdown! The Eagles win it!
And the only thing people remember is the pass, and if they do remember the Heisman, they feel that was because of the pass.
Flutie never passed NFL standards, never quite measured up. Despite a winning record as a starter, he bounced around for 4 seasons, eventually cut loose by New England in 1990.
By now, it was clear that Flutie was no longer welcome in the National Football League, so he headed north across the border into Canada, where in 8 wonderful seasons he set the Canadian Football League on fire, and in the process rediscovered his passion for the game.
When I went up to British Columbia and I started having success and started calling my own plays and having a feel for the game and thinking through things, and I really started to enjoy playing football again.
Touchdown, Doug Flutie.
It showed 6 MVP awards, 3 Grey Cup championships, the league's highest paid player. But Darren Flutie, who competed against his older brother in the CFL, says something was missing.
The NFL is the premier league. That's the league. If you're going to be a true success, you have to make it there, and he knows that, and most players know that, and he wants to go down there and show everyone that, you know, he's a great player.
I'm not out to prove anything to anybody. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I've been doing it for 14 years. I've been playing professional football. I'm completely content with that. I'd love to try to win a Super Bowl, and that was the reason I wanted to come back.
Last January, with the blessing of Bills owner Ralph Wilson, Flutie was convinced to come back across the border as a backup for far less money.
Everybody's down on Doug or said they can't play, you know, the limitations on height and a lot of things. Mr. Wilson said, don't worry about that. Let's give him a chance. He's a winner. We did. It's paid off.
I don't want to be judged. That's the bottom line. Just let's go play football, line up and play. The coaches believe in me, the team believes in me, I belong here, I'm part of this team. Let's see how the team does.
So every chance he gets now, he goes about the business of making plays. The one thing, even in the autumn of Doug Flutie's football life, that never seems to change.
This week on Inside the NFL, we're on the road to the Mile High City to spotlight the defending Super Bowl champions. Among those joining us are quarterback John Elway and running back Terrell Davis. And we feature lineman Neil Smith in his lifelong battle against dyslexia. In Buffalo, the perfect autumn picnic features items from each of the 4 major food groups: meats, vegetables, grains, and the ever-popular condiments. For the Bills to catch up with the AFC East leaders, they would have to knock off the undefeated Jaguars with backup Doug Flutie under center.
5-1 today. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be 5-1. We are bad. We're better than these people. We're gonna whip their ass.
You gotta be selfish. When it's 3rd and long, say, I'm gonna make a play. Don't depend on nobody else.
Despite fielding 3rd and 4th string running backs due to injuries, Jacksonville began the game with a balanced 16-play, 10.5-minute drive, which proved to be their most fruitful of the afternoon.
Turns, hands off, Tavian Banks running to the right, cuts it outside, now cuts it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
We got to stay after their ass and just keep kicking it. Don't allow them, don't give them a chance to breathe. We're not in the CPR business here now.
Flutie breathed life into Buffalo's offense a few possessions later. But for the remainder of the game, the defenses dominated, as neither team crossed the goal line for over 40 minutes of play.
Fight the guys with your hands so they see you being held. You just stand there and let them take it. Come on, Dougie Fresh!
It is Flutie's size, never his athleticism, that has been questioned, and his ability to create on the move and tenacious desire to win kept the Bills within striking distance.
Big play, ball, big play!
Down 6 with under a minute to play, Flutie once again evidenced his flair for the dramatic.
Throws long, a man is there, he's got it, and he's in for the touchdown! He is in for the touchdown! Can you believe it? Do you believe it? What is he doing here? Oh, wait a minute, he was down at the 1-yard line. A touchdown that wasn't a touchdown.
After 3 incompletions, Flutie added another chapter to his growing volume of storybook finishes.
Does Flutie have a pro miracle? Here's Flutie rolling out, and he is in for the touchdown! This place is bedlam! It is bonkers! It is bananas! It is unbelievable!
Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Feel the power.
The second undefeated team to come into Orchard Park and go away with a loss. Do you believe it? Doug Flutie, poetic justice.
The play was supposed to be a sweep to Thurman Thomas, but finding Thomas well out of position, number 7 fittingly won the game by himself.
Hey guys, it was a big ball game. Let's enjoy it today. Tomorrow we got to go back to work. We got a ball game next week. It's going to be the biggest ball game of the year.
You can't blame John Lynch and the Buccaneers for being nervous before last Sunday's game against the Panthers. Another loss in a playoff appearance could be out of reach.
We got to understand something, man. We got to win this game. We get back to 500. That's what we want to do. Play with energy, man. Play with energy. And above all, man, let's go have some fun.
Knock some folks out. Knock them out. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, defense, let's go. South, get the guys, go.
As a safety, Lynch must roam the field, defending against the run and the pass as he helps lead the swarming Bucs defense. He must also watch his back. Both teams managed only a field goal in the first half. But not harassing the Carolina offense, the Bucs were pestering the officials.
You see where he tackled him? 84. He tackled him out there on the yellow line.
He didn't slam him down or anything. What are you talking about? Look at this. Hey, look.
The only thing really up for debate was the play calling of the Buccaneer offense.
Blitzing, they're blitzing.
Leaving one man to block NFL sack leader Kevin Green simply won't work.
You gotta clamp these guys down, man. You gotta clamp them down.
The Panthers finally penetrated Tampa Bay's red zone, setting up a 1st and goal on the Buccaneers' 1-yard line. On first down, Lynch exploded into the backfield, stopping Fred Lane for a loss. On 2nd down, Lynch almost intercepted a sure touchdown pass. Carolina came up dry on 3rd down as well, as they were forced to cut bait and settle for a field goal. But Lynch could only regret the one that got away.
Damn, Warren. Could have gone 90. We need this game. We need this thing. Come on.
Carolina's next trip to the red zone produced the game's first touchdown.
He dives in the end zone, touchdown. Boy, fell on his back.
Fred's got a new dance.
You got to suck it up because you're going right back out there. Get your rest. You're going right back out there. Let's go. Hey, let's see what we're made of. Let's see what we're made of right here. Let's go, Hardware. Let's see what we're made of. Let's see what we're made of. Let's go.
Down 13-3, the lethargic Buccaneers offense finally awakened.
Play action bootleg. Dilfer will run it in. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Great call from the boot. Dilfer bootlegging left and scoring from a yard out.
Turn it right back around, put it right back on the field, and we win this.
Damn right. Tempo, let's roll it. Let's roll it.
We got an opportunity. Dropping Dilfer. Good protection. Coxiar throws the fade to the near sideline. Touchdown!
Touchdown! Touchdown! Woo! Woo! Woo!
But there's still a minute 39. Let's celebrate while we enjoy a 16-13 lead.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
The Buccaneers had missed the extra point, leaving the Panthers down by a field goal with time running out.
Come on, fellas, come on! This is what it's all about!
Carolina drove into field goal range before Tampa Bay's defense stiffened. Kicker John Casey was left with a 47-yarder to tie the game.
Trying to tie. High snap. Here's the kick. Airborne, plenty of distance.
Oh, he nailed that.
It's no good! No good! Bucs will win! Bucs will win at 16-13 Tampa Bay. And we come from behind and are still unbeaten at Raymond James Stadium. Bucs will be 3-3. Boy, Casey gave it a long ride.
Sucker nailed that. He nailed that kick right there. I thought that was good. Did it look like you?
All right. Hey, no doubt about it, a big win. One we had to have. It didn't go exactly the way we wanted it to go. Didn't know if we could beat them. If we turned the ball over more than they did, if we made more mistakes than they did. They fought all the way. We fought for 60 minutes. And that's what you got to do in this league.
Here we go. Big plays all day today. Here we go.
Amazingly, this Falcons-Saints game was the only one last week that featured two winning teams. With a win, Dan Reeves' squad could match their best start ever. No wonder a Falcon love fest enthusiastically filled the Georgia Dome. Jamal Anderson rewarded the crowd, rushing for his 4th 100-yard game in a row.
Here's Jamal Anderson. Anderson running room. 20, 15, 10. Jamal trying to get into the end zone. Is he in? Yes! Touchdown, Falcons. What a run by
In the second quarter, Atlanta stung New Orleans with a pair of long-distance scores.
10 from the 45-yard line for the Falcons, and the Saints. Chandler will throw, going long, down the field, open man, touchdown Falcons! Tony Martin, touchdown, 45 yards. Wow!
But the Saints pulled off a pair of second quarter strikes of their own.
As he brings the ball down, now scrambles up in the pocket, throwing on the run. He's got Poole downfield. It's Poole at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, at the 5. Keith Poole scores! 64-yard strike.
Way to go, keep coming off. Keep coming off. We'll run it all day. I don't care, okay? We'll run it all day. You guys keep coming off.
New Orleans heeded Mike Ditka's demands by knocking Chris Chandler out of the game. It brought on a 44-year-old antique of a backup, Steve DeBerg.
This is truly the Falcons' worst nightmare. They knew they were incredibly thin at quarterback. If Chandler's out of there for any length of time, despite what Steve DeBerg does the rest of the way here, this team's in real trouble.
Get up to the line of scrimmage! Get up to the line of scrimmage! Get up there!
In the fourth quarter, DeBerg tossed his first touchdown pass in 5 years. It kept the Falcons in front to stay.
And he dumps it to Bob Christian. First down, Falcons. Christian on his feet. Touchdown, Bob Christian into the end zone. And what a drive.
Turnover, baby, turnover.
Out of the shotgun, Tolliver across the middle, and it's picked off. Picked off by Eugene Robinson. Sent into the end zone, and the Falcons stretch it out even further. The fourth turnover of the day for the New Orleans Saints, and listen to the crowd inside the Georgia Dome.
The leading interceptor in the NFL among active players puts a big shot on Billy Joe Tolliver and the Saints.
And I looked, I'm running up the field, and I looked, I said, oh, I just got the quarterback on the line, and I said, I think all I got to do is cut in. If I cut in, I can score. I'm not even trying to run fast.
Even the path of the Green Bay Packers, who were looking to take out their frustrations following a blowout loss to the Vikings in their previous game.
We got embarrassed last week. We all know we're better than that. And the only reason we got embarrassed is because of what we did, not because of what they did. As long as we know that, we're going to be all right. Let's play our game tonight. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the crowd. But we got to start early and be physical. We'll win this ball game.
Every play, someone taking upon themselves to make the difference and win the football game. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Early on, the Packers appeared to be back on track.
Looks, wants to loof it up the sidelines. There's Freeman at the 40. He's going to go, folks. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. They're beating on the corner. Brian Westbrook and Antonio Freeman has scored the touchdown.
It looked like kind of like 9. When the safety kicked over, he was like this. They scared now. They scared.
But after Green Bay jumped to a quick 10-0 lead, the Lions kept Brett Favre and his offense on a tight leash the rest of the night, as the Packers just couldn't seem to stay out of trouble.
Please, you can't get out of the doghouse, can you? I'm trying. You love it in there. You love it in there.
It was Favre who was dogged all night by Lions safety Mark Carrier, who came up with 2 of his team's 3 interceptions.
Straight drop, looking left, fires, and intercepted. Brooks, the intended receiver, Carrier with his second interception.
Mark Carrier, without question, has just been outstanding tonight.
Nice pass, Brett.
Okay.
Did I have him over here?
Yeah, you had both of them.
They bailed out.
Yeah, they just bailed on him. Okay.
While Favre struggled, Lions rookie Charlie Batch was in control all night, completing 16 of 19 passes, the highest percentage for a rookie in nearly 40 years.
Fourth down and inches. Charlie Batch. Play action. Batch wide open. Touchdown, Lions. Good heavens. How about that fake by Charlie Batch?
Out there, baby.
Come on, Charlie, whip out the gun, baby. Come on.
Early in the fourth quarter, Batch gave the Lions their first lead.
Long over the middle, and one-hand grab! Crowell! And he will score! Touchdown, Jermaine Crowell! What a catch! Crowell was covered. I mean, there wasn't any room at all, but Charlie Batch threw it up there. I think he'll save that ball. That's his first NFL touchdown catch.
Put the ball in the only spot you could have put it in.
With the Lions protecting a 4-point lead, they found the surest way to put the game away. Barry Sanders' 73-yard score broke the Packers' backs and secured an impressive victory that could turn Detroit's season around.
How about that? 73 yards from Barry Sanders.
When in doubt, give it to Barry.
Fantastic job. You play with great poise. You play with intensity. You play with toughness. Very, very proud of you.
In Minnesota, the Vikings let their hair down a little bit, but there would be no letdown versus the 0-6 Redskins. After an early 7-0 lead, the Skins lost the handle on Randall. Cunningham made like his old Houdini self, throwing for 259 yards and leading the Vikings to 41 unanswered points.
Cunningham cocks and fires. Touchdown, Chris Carter. 19-yard line of the Redskins and a toss sweep. Robert Smith at the 20 at the corner. 15 still going. 10-5. Touchdown. They give to Leroy Hort over the top. Touchdown, Vikings. He's finally made it.
Leroy Hort rushed for 2 touchdowns, and Cunningham added 2 through the air to give the unbeaten Vikings their best start since 1975. In New York, the Giants awoke from their early season slumber to try and sweep aside the visiting Cardinals. A fierce battle was waged in the pit, but the Little Red Birds from Arizona didn't have much of a chance against Giants named Grag and Stone. New York's offensive line paved the way for the run and gave their quarterback time to pass, in essence killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Danny Canal was nearly perfect, passing for a career-high 259 yards and 3 touchdowns, including 1 to wide receiver Chris Callaway. Callaway's score put the Giants up 27-7, and midway through the fourth quarter, Canal connected with Amani Toomer for the finishing touch. Last Sunday, New York finally looked like the defending NFC East champions, recording the most lopsided victory of the Jim Fossil era. And their groundbreaking offensive performance may be a sign of big things to come. A long shadow this time of year is a sure sign that June is a-comin'. And new head coach June Jones got the Chargers off on the right foot. Big Natron Means kicked up 112 yards versus the Eagles, busting his way for the Chargers' only touchdown.
Natron room, 15, 10, 5, moving, touchdown Chargers. What a run by what a runner.
Charlie Garner answered for the Eagles with a 12-yard run in the fourth quarter.
Coming across the 5 and in for the touchdown is Charlie Garner.
After a John Carney field goal put the Chargers up by 3, linebacker Junior Seau and the defense put the game away. The Chargers improved to 3-4, while the sputtering Eagles are now 0-12-1 in their last 13 road games.
going to junior high.
Plenty of fireworks. Bill Parcells' annual return to Foxborough had both teams primed to detonate. The Jets took the lead with the first of 3 Vinny Testaverde touchdown passes.
In trouble, dumps it short to Brady, dives for the goal line, touchdown! Touchdown, New York Jets!
Not one to lie still, Drew Bledsoe returned fire to tight end Lovett Purnell. Leading late in the game, Testaverde ignited a long bomb which put the game away.
Throws the bomb for Diedrich Ward, who makes the catch. Touchdown!
While all may be forgiven for some, count on another grudge match when these two teams meet again in Week 17. Welcome to Miami, where the Fishheads run free and the league's third-ranked defense rules the land with devastating force. Against the Rams, the Dolphins' defense registered its second straight home shutout, while their inconsistent offense got a boost from Dan Marino, who tossed 2 scoring passes.
Marino back to pass on first down. He's throwing for Avery going down the sideline. Avery makes the catch. Touchdown!
The jubilant Dolphins are now tied for first in the AFC East. Few would have deemed Indianapolis worthy of bursting San Francisco's first-place bubble. But on their first offensive snap, Marshall Faulk popped a big one.
Turns the corner, 40, 45, cuts back to midfield, 50, they go! 45, 40! 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and they call it a touchdown!
The frisky Colts were physical and proficient, taking an early 21-0 lead and then keeping the pressure on when the Niners dared to keep pace.
San Francisco showing blitz. Here they come. Quick throw to the outside. Caught as a broken Pathan down to the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison took it the length of the field after breaking a tackle. Third touchdown of the day.
Despite Harrison's heroics, the Colts' victory grip would be loosened by Steve Young, who ferociously willed his team back into the game. After much deliberation, J.J. Stokes was awarded a touchdown, and as the game entered the fourth quarter, Steve Young was simply unstoppable, throwing for more than 300 yards in a record 6th straight game. Trailing by 8 in the fourth quarter, Young darted and dodged his team downfield, and then shredded the Colts with an improvisational masterpiece.
Straight back route. Steps up in the pocket, takes off. Lots of room up the middle. He might go. Down to the 10, down to the 5. Cuts to the right, pushes off. Into the end zone. No! What a score by Steve Young for the touchdown. 23-yard scramble. The best by Steve Young since the Minnesota Viking game a decade ago.
Young's 40th career touchdown run did more than tie him with Jack Kemp for the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback. It combined with a 2-point conversion to pull the Niners even with the stunned Colts. And after a late Colt field goal try fell short, San Francisco set up Wade Ritchie for the potential game winner.
Randy Kirk, to Detmer, to Ritchie, and between the goalposts and the 49ers with 5 seconds to go come all the way back from 21-0.
The comeback win moved the Niners to 5-1, keeping pace with the surprising Falcons atop the NFC West. NFL schedule makers who blessed Dallas with 3 straight opponents whose combined win total is 1. Despite a 1-5 record, the Bears kept the faith and battled Dallas for a 7-6 lead in the second half.
The right side, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown! Between two defenders. Chris Penn on the reception.
A fake to Emmitt Smith left tight end David LaFleur open for a 12-7 lead. But a failed two-point conversion attempt left them vulnerable in the fourth quarter. After a Chicago field goal cut the lead to 12-10, Curtis Enis plowed through the Dallas defense, giving Jeff Jager a chance for the game winner.
Here's the snap, placement made, kick to the uprights, and it is good!
Jager's heroics boosted the Bears' record to 2-5, and this week they traveled to Tennessee to face an Oiler team whose flags were at half-mast early in the season. But with a victory over Baltimore in Week 6, Oiler flags were now flying high.
Quick pitch. Archie wants to throw. Halfback option. Throws it in the end zone. Touchdown Oilers! Archie on a halfback option.
Quarterback Steve McNair found rookie Kevin Dyson for a score on his way to 277 yards passing. The Oilers pounded the Bengals from every angle, handing them their worst loss since 1992.
Slot to the right, Pickens to the left. Play action. The ball is not loose. It's picked up by the Oilers. And it's juggled and picked up. It's going to be a touchdown for Bowden. And the rest of the roof, what little was standing, is caved in on Cincinnati.
The 44-14 thrashing raised the Oilers to 3-3 and into good standing in the AFC Central. While some fat cats relax in the luxury box, Pittsburgh owner Dan Rooney doesn't mind chewing the fat with the common folk. But this season, he has watched his once potent offense go belly up. But the Steelers' defense bailed them out again, picking off Raven quarterbacks 3 times. And in Ron Woodson's first game in Pittsburgh since the 1996 season, he let revenge slip right through his fingers. In a defensive struggle, the game's only touchdown would seal the victory.
In the shotgun against the blitz, Cordell is back. He throws it near sideline. A man is open. Charles Johnson is gone. There goes C.J. He takes it to the house. 56 yards.
C.J. left him 7 yards behind. 7 yards, I'm telling you.
The Steelers are now only 1 game behind the Jaguars for first place in the AFC Central.
You know, the thing is, it's hard work being a champion. We just make it look easy.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Seattle, Washington, where the AFC West leaders, the Denver Broncos, in a big game take on the Seattle Seahawks. Broncos are 5-0, the Seahawks are 3-2, and Denver can put Seattle back in the pack with the win today.
Oh, yes! I'm going to need your help today. Let's give it all you got. We need a win, baby, on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
In a playoff atmosphere in the Kingdome, Broncos quarterback John Elway made his return after missing 2 starts with injuries, and it didn't take long for him to pick up right where he left off.
Elway, play fake, in the pocket, plenty of time. Elway, deep down the middle of the field for Rod Smith. Smith got it! Inside the 10, 5, touchdown!
Man, I'll tell you, John Elway, bad hamstring, bad back, I don't care. This guy can throw the pill, and he just rockets it.
Later in the first quarter, Elway let fly again to give Denver a quick 14-0 lead and quiet the Kingdome crowd.
That's going to be 5, touchdown, Shannon Sharp. And John Elway is lighting up Seattle so far.
Safety back. I know, and I thought the safety was going to have him, but the safety got screwed up. Yeah, it took they ain't gonna get no attitude watching them. You gotta have yours. We gotta have our attitude right here. Keep your focus. Now, is there any problem with you guys? Does everybody understand that?
Seattle's defense responded early in the second quarter.
John fires, intercepted. 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Darren Smith's score swung the game's momentum towards Seattle. With the defense clamping down on Elway, the Seahawks trailed just 14-10 entering the fourth quarter and were determined to prove they could stand toe-to-toe with the world champions.
Hey, we took their best shot. We took their best shot. We took their best shot. We got them where we want them, though, because they not used to this. was awesome. We got him in the rope.
Despite what the Seahawks believe, the Broncos usually respond when they're backed into a corner. Denver sacked Warren Moon 3 times, and the Seahawk quarterback left the game after 3 quarters when he was bothered by a rib injury he had suffered the week before.
Don't worry about it, okay? It's over with. There ain't nothing we can do about it now anyway. So let's go get our ass focused in on the next series, okay? That's what we got to do right now. Don't worry about nothing else, okay? Nothing else but the next series.
Early in the 4th quarter, Seattle's situation grew more desperate when Terrell Davis scored to build Denver's lead to 21-10.
You just hold the rock and you put the damn game. You put the game away.
Come on, we need to get in the end zone. We need to get in the end zone. How you doing? We need to get in the end zone. Come on.
On the next series, backup John Freeze got the Seahawks back in the game. Mike Pritchard's score cut Denver's lead to 21-16.
Good job now. That's a good job now. All we got to do now is go get the football back, okay? And just keep pounding on their ass. We got a lot of time in this football game, okay? We got a lot of time, so we got to keep doing what we're doing.
With less than 2 minutes to play, the Seahawks were driving for the go-ahead score.
Steps up, has to be intercepted. Glenn Cadrez. Cadrez has got the ball at the 32-yard line. Glenn Cadrez stepped in front of the intended receiver. That is his first interception of the year.
That fat lady's warming up. Baby. She's humming right now.
Denver needed one more first down to bring the curtain down on Seattle.
Got to be Terrell Davis, does it not? It is. Left side, TD. Here we go. 30, 35, 40-foot race. So long!
Terrell Davis's 70-yard run gave him 208 yards rushing on the day and secured a huge division victory for a Broncos team that has now won a franchise record 11 straight games over the last 2 seasons.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you tonight.
Game's going to be like that. All of a sudden, we're playing our rear ends off. We get 14 points in the first quarter. We hit a lull in there. We come back. We got enough character to find a way to get the job done. That's a hell of a job as a team. We're going to have a lot more games like that. All of a sudden, we're going to win a game 10-7. We're going to win it 35-34. You got to find a way to win. Congratulations on the win. Let's enjoy it.
The Philadelphia Eagles have been riding down Desperation Highway that took them to a dreaded Week 6 destination. The Redskins looked like roadkill when their lowest-ranked defense was cleared out of Rodney Pete's way for a touchdown.
He's at the 5. Rodney Pete! Ramblin' Rodney for the touchdown!
Trent Green's path was paved with potholes.
Douglas and Wallace with a Trent Green sandwich.
The Eagles' defense feasted on Washington's ineffective offense. The winless Redskins experienced their worst start since 1961.
Pete, play action, close it, wide open touchdown to Cassim Encino.
Philadelphia hopes that Pete can create a winning streak in San Diego this Sunday. The Chargers battled a Raider team that seemed to be coming into focus as San Diego struggled for a 4th consecutive week behind an awfully shaky Leaf.
Miserable pace.
The misery lasted all afternoon as Oakland tallied 4 interceptions and held the Chargers to 78 passing yards. But the Raider offense was not exempt from the ineptitude. For 58.5 minutes of futility, the Raiders suffered through 5 quarterback sacks, a mere 18 yards rushing, only 5 first downs, and an NFL record 16 punts. Trailing 6-0 in the final minutes, backup Wade Wilson's only completion of the game resulted in Oakland's only score.
Back to pass, has time. Goes deep up the left side for Jet. He's got it! Into 30, 20,
San Diego's devastating loss led to the firing of coach Kevin Gilbride, who was replaced by quarterback coach June Jones on Tuesday.